Okay, so I'm going to try and explain how Jesus rose from the dead. And hopefully we can put this to rest. So, bear in mind that in the ancient world, people like Alexander the Great and so on, and heroes, the Viking heroes, I know they're a lot later, but there was belief that if you're a great warrior, then people might sing your praises or sing about the deeds, the fantastic deeds that you achieved when you're alive, and that you would achieve a kind of immortality in that way, that people would sing your praises forevermore, and so and you would become like a god, so you would gain a kind of immortality. That's the way they thought about things. Now, obviously, the story of Jesus was first written down and first came about. It doesn't matter whether you believe that there was a literal character called Jesus or not, it's irrelevant. But the story itself arose sometime around the 1st century, 2nd century AD. And so none of those people that wrote those stories down or believed in them or talked about them at the time, where are they now? None of them exist, do they? They are all actually dead. And yet you can go online and listen to Myth Vision and Gnostic Informant and various other people endlessly debating the story of Jesus. So Jesus, whether a real man existed or not, his praises are still being sung, his deeds are still being discussed, are still being talked about in a very real way. And the people that compose those stories, or witnessed them if you prefer, they're all dead. They're all gone, right? They've all been dead for a very long time. So Jesus rose literally from the dead, because those people who first invented or witnessed those stories are all long gone, okay, for us, in what we call the land of the living. That's us, what we're experiencing at the moment. So Jesus, in a very real way, did rise from the dead. And it's a kind of ancestor worship, I mean, when things that are thought worthy are said to stand the test of time, So if something is worthy and has something of value within it, it will stand the test of time. Now, time, of course, is omniscient, omnipresent, sees all, because it's a watcher. The watch contains time, or time contains the watch. But so allows free will, because obviously to a certain degree, now you can debate whether we have real free will or not, but to all intents and purposes we're born into time, and we can make choices, what appear to be choices to us anyway from our perspective. So Jesus really did rise from the dead, and is with us in spirit, if nothing else, I suppose. And of course contains a lot of truths that go way back into the Stone Age. I think the evidence of the anointed one and the cursed, or Christ, the Christ caressed child, that is constantly born again, reinvented through time. That goes way back. So people often they'll talk about the different, like Mithras and so on, and all these crucified messiahs. But to me, that hints at some kind of true strength within the story, that it lives. It lives continually from generations, going way back to the Stone Age, way back to the Neolithic, let's say that. And why do I say that? Well, because in Ireland you have tombs, I think Newgrange is one of them, and in Britain as well, and other places, even in Egypt, that align with the midwinter sun, and the tomb is lit up by the light of the rising sun on the winter solstice, the shortest day. So it represents kind of coming back to life of the sun, an agricultural thing in that way. And so obviously you count 3 days between the 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th. There's your 3 days in the tomb. 25th is the birth, etc. So you can see the reason why that was placed on the 25th of December actually goes way back into the myths of Western European and Egyptian mythology, because there seems to be some, pretty much a worldwide cult of some kind way back then. Anyway, I've rambled on long enough, but so there you go. Jesus rose from the dead. We're still talking of him and singing his praises today, quite literally. People go to church and sing hymns, etc. Which, to the ancient mind, the ancient world, if men sung your praises until the end of time, well, then you were indeed immortal and a god of kind. So there we go. But I mean, it's intriguing because there's obviously something wrong in our physics and our view of the world. Because if again, take those people that were alive in the see, Jesus, what they did, what he did was he said, no, this isn't the land of the living. He said, let the dead bury the dead. This is the land of the dead. Now, if you're immortal, obviously, everyone that you move around with, they are mortal, and they're temporal if they believe that. And the flesh is weak and so on. The great corrupter of all things is time itself, isn't it? It breaks everything down. But of course, that's the temporal, or the avatar that we enter into to interact with the world, because it's actually quite a toxic atmosphere. You may have noticed. It's interesting with climate change. The atmosphere is changing. Well, look at humanity, and you'll see the reflection of that. The atmosphere is changing. It's metaphorical as much as physical or even metaphysical. Anyway, I'm going to end it there. I was going to say something interesting, but so from the point of view of an eternal being, in that sense, the Christos, the anointed one, who is forever reborn in time, then it is the land of the dead. And all those tortures of hell and so on actually exist on planet, I hate to say this, but they do exist on planet Earth. I mean, imagine if, the poor people going into the gas chambers, for instance, or, being beheaded on Tower Hill back in the 50s, or we've got Yellowstone, super volcano, that if that went off, it truly would be hell on Earth, And of course, it's not hell; it's L. We all exist within L, within L being the electric charge, but also the eldest God, which of course again relates to time, but time and Kronos and Saturn, they're all references to time. And of course, the cost of living is forever going up because we age. And so the longer we stay, the more painful, we have to pay in full for the experience, the more painful it becomes on a general basis. These are just principles. They're not. It doesn't mean it for everyone, but as a general principle, as we age, we lose our faculties. The old thing, either your body breaks down or your mind breaks down. So time is a hard taskmaster, a bit like a Venus flytrap, and of course that relates to Venus. Venus, and we come into the world through Venus, the material, the morning light, the cock crows in the morning, all that stuff. Anyway, I've rambled on for far too long, I think, so I'm going to leave it there. But there you go. That's proof, if you like, or a logically consistent answer as to how Jesus rose from the dead. Okay, I hope someone gets something from that, even if it's just a good laugh at my warped logic. Okay, right, I'll stop there, I think.